see, my crystals had the ability to absorb the ninja's powers, but yours...
My Dark King, I have done as you've requested of me. I have captured the Ultra Dragon. What should become of it?
I remember what I did back in the day.
Eliminate dragon! Fire! Annihilate! Destroy!
Oh, I know exactly what you can do with that. What do you think?
It's perfect. This is Ninjago's best dragon ever. Hey everyone, it's Hayley from the TTV channel, and today I'm coming at you with a brand new TTV reviews, an extra special one for Ninjago Crystalized. This is set number 71774, Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon. This is 989 pieces, retails for $140, and comes out on August 1st in North America and June 1st in Europe. I want to first thank LEGO and the LEGO Ambassador Network for sending us these sets for review, but do know that everything I say is my own opinion, and it is not because of LEGO treating me in this way. So let's get into the review for this Ultra Dragon. You may be thinking, Hayley, that is such a big thing to say, like that is sensational, that this is Ninjago's best dragon. I'm not bluffing. I fell in love with this dragon on bag 3. Like, that is how early it was when I fell in love with this dragon. The picture on the box really doesn't do it justice to how grand it is. So, I'm going to get into why I think this is the best dragon, and there's so many reasons why. So let's get into the build first. So the first thing I want to say about the build is that it was one of the most fun builds I've done in a LEGO set in a very long time. Again, I said I fell in love with the dragon on bag number 3. At that point, I had not built any limbs. I had not built any dragon heads. I had built the body. I had built kind of the back half as well as the tail. And I was like, oh my gosh, this dragon is already going to be massive. It's going to have so much beautiful sculpting. The gold pieces just worked so well, kind of shaping the dragon. It was so beautiful. And then the more I built bag on bag on bag, I just kept falling in love with it more. The dragon heads, the wings, all of the minifigures. It was such an enjoyable ride. There are a few things to mention with the build. One is that the most complicated area were the wings. It was very Technic heavy. It was a very articulate contraption. Lots of Technic pieces and lots of, very like meticulate areas where you have to put gears in place. So it was definitely the hardest part. But even if that's the hardest part, then it's a pretty simple build. Just a lot of like molding and getting the pieces on for the legs, and the sculpting of the dragon was not complex, but it was very tedious. But yeah, so that was my build. When I finished it and I looked at it for the first time, post seeing it in the box, I was in love. I just kept staring at it. I took pictures of it. I was like, this thing is so photogenic. It was so posable. I loved all of the heads. I just absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the minifigures, but I'll get to that later. The first thing I'm going to talk about, review-wise, are going to be the colors. So, if you couldn't tell, this dragon is almost completely pearl gold. Like, there are very few surfaces where you don't see any pearl gold at all. And I think that's part of the price. Like, if there's a gold tax, this would absolutely qualify because there's gold everywhere. But so the pearl gold is absolutely the main color. Obviously, it's a golden dragon. You also have white, which is on the stomach, on parts of the wings, the claws, of course, part of the neck. You've got some tan on some of the legs. You got the brown for where Lloyd stands. And then you've got some silver on the joints, for, of course, the Technic pieces, the ratchet joints, the ball and socket joints. All of those are going to be silver or gray. And finally, of course, we have the elemental colors on the dragon's heads for each ninja. Either they're going to be translucent blue, translucent yellow, this translucent orange, or for Cole, like black and silver. So, but yeah, so that is the colors on the dragon. Again, if you need gold pieces, this is what you're going to want to find, because you're going to find pretty much all sorts of gold pieces in this. All right, let's move on to the molds of the set, because there's a lot of fantastic molds that sneak up on this dragon. So a big reason why this set is pricey is because it has so many large molds, and the molds are in pearl gold. So the obvious ones are going to be the dragon heads. Each dragon head is unique to each other. So not one dragon head, both upper and lower jaw, is the same to the other. We've got Kai's, who has, I believe, the mold, the new kind of dragon or reptile mold from like a Jurassic Park, with the bottom jaw that shares the same bottom jaw as Jay. Jay and Zane have the same head mold that has like the translucent plastic on top. Of course, different translucent colors for the ninja. And then Cole at the bottom has the bottom jaw that Zane has, which I believe was introduced in the core wave. But it's the same jaw. So it's top jaw, bottom jaw, same jaw, but one of them has the printing for the dragon head on it. So all these dragons are unique to each other, which is really cool. But I'm sure that's where a lot of the price comes up, because that's a lot of different molds, a lot of different printing on those molds for that variety. You also have these giant blades. I believe this is new to this wave, but giant pearl gold blades, and you get 6 of them, not to mention this blade that we are very familiar with on the back of the tail. I also get these golden spinner crowns on the wings, as well as like the sensei hat in pearl gold. And the most surprising one, which was something that LJ pointed out, which is in another set from this wave, we have something that is quickly known as bow rock teeth, which first appeared in 2002 and last appeared in 2006. And this is the first appearance since then of these bow rock teeth pieces. They're on the wings. It's kind of hard to see them from, from the camera or from different angles, but we do have the bow rock teeth on this set. You get 2 of them, which is like a big deal since we haven't seen them in math, I don't know, that's 10 plus years, which is insane. But those make an appearance in this set as well. So now let's move on to the articulation, which is one of my favorite aspects of this dragon. This dragon has so much articulation, like it's more than meets the eye at this point. So let me tell you all the different points of articulation. We've got articulation on 3 places on each dragon head. 3. So you have a ball and socket joint at 3 places on each dragon head. One at the neck, one of them in the middle of the neck, and then one of them at the base where all of the heads come together. You get double ratchet joints on the stomach of the dragon, which is new for a dragon to have a joint on the stomach, between the stomach and the waist. You have ratchet joints on the tail in 2 different places. You have ball and socket joints on each foot. You have ratchet joints and rotation joint discs on the shoulder and thigh joints. And especially also on the shoulder, you can both move out, like just by like 1 click, as well as moving forward and back, which is, it's a big dragon, so it has to be sturdy, but also you get that little extra like leg room. But yeah, what I just said, the dragon is very sturdy. There's no articulation in the elbows and kind of the knee for the dragon, but that's just so it doesn't like flop around or whatnot. You get plenty of articulation elsewhere, and you're able to do some pretty remarkable poses with this. I think the craziest one I did is that this dragon can stand on its hind legs without any support, at least to me holding it wise, which is crazy. I haven't seen another dragon do that. It was, especially for the size and like weight, especially the top heaviness of the dragon, that it can stand on its hind legs, blew my brains out. The mouth, of course, can open and close, obviously. And then the wings, for articulation wise, the function, it's a wheel-based function that allow the blades to open and close, kind of like the wings opening and closing. It doesn't flap, it just kind of can go, like they stow the blades away, or stow the the wings away. Now, I know that we are missing fabric or vinyl, or the wings are missing what usually has been in the larger dragons, which is a covering. And this dragon obviously doesn't. It has blades, but it's also very nostalgic and a callback to what Ninjago dragons started as, which is very cool. I'm not too mad about it. And also the wings, like the fabric wings, would hide the beautiful body of this dragon like it does for other dragons. And I'm glad that you're able to see this dragon pretty much in full. So that's the articulation of these wings. Again, it's a wheel-based function. Yeah. All right, let's move on to sculpting. This is something that I don't usually touch on with other dragons, or at least I haven't in the past, but this dragon absolutely requires me talking about how it is sculpted, because oh my gosh, the legs and the body and the head and the tail, all of these parts are so well formed and shaped to create the body of this dragon, more so than I have seen in any other dragon, any other real, like, mech even at times. These golden pieces, there's a lot of pieces that were found in the core wave that came out earlier this year that were matched with the SCCBS pieces. Those are put on the dragon as, like, they wrap around the foot, they wrap around the calf, it's wrapped around the arm, it's on the back spine, it's on the back of the tail. Like, there are pieces everywhere that really form the dragon and make it look finished, which is something that hasn't been seen in other things, where you get like a lot of studs in one area, or the back doesn't look very finished, or the side doesn't look very finished. This looks finished and polished and glorious. And that is honestly part of the reason why I fell in love with the dragon so early in building, is because I noticed that the sculpting was very, very articulate, carefully put together, and it felt like I was building like a creature rather than like a toy set. It was very, very cool. There are a few things I am not a fan of, however, and I said this with Lloyd's legendary dragon. It was built the same way. The claws are, at least the way that the claws are put on, there's like one claw that goes up and down, and the other two go like, left to right. And the reason I don't like that is because you can't like bend the claws like upwards like this. Like, the claws won't bend together. So when you're trying to like pose the dragon, you want the dragon to kind of like be like leaning on its claws. You're not able to do that, which is kind of sad. I'm sure there's a way to like maybe mock it in order to do it, but as it stands right now, it's, it looks cool. The claws look very cool, but when it comes to like getting that cool pose or messing around with the claws, it doesn't really turn out as well as I hoped. The wings as well. The function is very visible, which I am not a huge fan of. You can really see like, the tan slider and all the white pieces and everything that kind of goes into making that wheel function work. Not a huge fan that it's kind of just there. I wish there was like a better way to kind of hide it, but it is a pretty big function, so it has to kind of top on there. It's only a complaint. Again, the dragon is glorious otherwise, so it's just a small little thing that bugs me a little bit. One thing I noticed while I was posing is that a lot of the gold pieces on the chest, sometimes on like the inner arms and inner leg, are prone to fall off, and that's just because they're pretty much just put on. There's a bunch of those pieces on the side, and so you just take the gold piece and you just plop it on. But if you mess around with the dragon too much, then it will just pop back off. So that's one thing that to note while messing around with the dragon, is that these gold pieces are prone to just fall off if you mess around with it too much. One thing that I very much commend for this dragon is that the Ultra Dragon problem is 4 heads, 1 dragon, not enough space. This dragon says, haha, we found a way to make it work. And it absolutely works. You got all this articulation, the long necks, long heads, and you don't really find much chance to crowd them unless you want to. You can really give a lot of space between each head and give the dragons all of these different poses and whatnot, instead of like tilting 1 or 2 heads, but they're all stuck together. It's a very, very good idea. It works really well for this dragon. Obviously, this makes it the best Ultra Dragon. This dragon would look really cool with a giant dragon head, I would think, but foreheads also work for the scale of this dragon as well. So that is a huge compliment for the designer of this set for pulling off foreheads on one dragon and making it look good. Again, it doesn't really look great on, you know, the box images because there's so much gold blending in together. Once you get it in person, you'll really be able to see how they pulled off these foreheads. It's fantastic and I love it. So great job. So I want to quickly take a moment to compare this big boy to some of the other big dragons that I have in my collection. So I'm going to pull out the dragon from the movie, which is Lloyd's mech dragon. This was one of the first big dragons that we received that was commended as like, this is the dragon of the Ninjago wave. I'm also going to pull out Firstborn, which was my personal favorite dragon up until this point. Firstborn is of course massive, and yet this dragon just barely outlengths it. That tail definitely does it some favors there. Whoop, I just knocked down Lloyd. I'm going to move you over. Join your team. There you go. And then finally, this is the most obvious comparison. I'm going to pull out Lloyd's legendary dragon that came out earlier this year. This dragon has incredibly similar shaping, especially in the stomach, but I'll get to that in just a second. First thing I want to say, this is the longest and the tallest dragon to date. Obviously, you can just take, you know, Kai's head and go whoop, whoop, and boom, you've got a dragon that's that tall. That's impressive. And then, of course, lengthwise, it is the longest dragon comparatively. I think, actually, let me see. Yep, it just barely outdoes Lloyd's mech dragon. I would say maybe Lloyd's mech dragon is a little longer, but it's definitely up there as long dragons. This one might be longer just because it's built on length and not height. So one of the best sculpted dragons, obviously. This one has a lot of great sculpting, but there are definitely areas with a lot of studs. You get the legs are a little small in comparison. The head, of course, is wonderful, but it's also very like kind of blocky and triangle-y. This dragon, Firstborn, the legs are kind of sad compared to the rest of the dragon. We've got, you know, a lot of studs visible on the legs. It does a lot of these bigger pieces, does it a lot of favors. And then for Lloyd's legendary dragon, all of these trades. The front legs look pretty cool. If you remember, the front legs look pretty cool, but then the back legs are... Let's just say this dragon skipped a lot of leg days. And then, of course, this dragon, however, has just beef on both the front and back legs, perfectly sculpted. Like, this thing has some meat on it, and it's beautiful. Absolutely better than anything I've seen here. This has a better body build than Lloyd's legendary dragon, and let me tell you why. This dragon, of course, they have very similar fronts, that big circular kind of shaping. However, while this dragon, I'm not sure if you can see it very well underneath that wing, has like only one body and then it comes to a point and then it splits into the tail. This dragon, however, has a whole different structure that has the articulation point right here, and then it goes into the wing. So it has an extra point of the dragon, like the waist is its own build, rather than this one, which is just added on to the stomach. So it has a very, very similar features in that regard. The wings, this one does the wings a little better just because it sticks out. This one pops out a little bit, has more of a the function visible, and then the wings pop out. But also, again, this dragon covers up a lot of its body. This one does not. Finally, the posability. This dragon, since it has like a lot of movement in its tail, a lot of movement in its arms and its legs, it has the best posability of all these dragons, which is a big statement, and I'll show you why. Again, this dragon, the wings only go up and down like this. Whoop. Oh, I just knocked the tail off. Whoopsie. Sorry, Lloyd's legendary dragon. But the arms have, again, no knees. They have articulation here, which is the same as the Ultra Dragon. Head has 2 points of articulation. This dragon has 3. I'm gonna put you down here. Both of these tails, both Firstborn. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. The gold pieces are prone to fall off if you're messing around with it. Where did that come off of? So both Lloyd's mech dragon has the tail that, you know, swings back and forth as shown. Same with Firstborn. Firstborn also has the tail that will swing back and forth as shown here. Lloyd's legendary dragon. Let me, if I can find his tail. His tail doesn't swing, but it does go in an upper motion. It can go back, forth just a little bit though, not too much. Like it doesn't really go back and forth very much a lot. This dragon, however, it's so cool. It can go all the way up like a scorpion, and then you can also turn it and have it go like, you know, oh, well, pieces are going off again, but you can have it also move in a very drastic movement. We'll see here. So like the tail, this tail will go this side and this side, which is absolutely insane. And I think, yeah, I think this one doesn't do that as well. But this, you can have this tail go side and side, which gives this a lot of articulation and a lot of movement. More pieces are shedding from this dragon. Those are my points why this is one of the best dragons I've seen, best dragon I've built, best dragon in Ninjago. I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. I love this dragon so much. And these dragons are great. They're definitely building blocks for what this has become, but this is the, like, everything you want from a dragon is in this dragon, except for, like, the wings. But everything else you want, this is it. So thank you guys for coming out and playing. I'm going to put you all back down. All right. Let's move on to minifigures. So the first minifigure, and obviously the one that I'm going to talk about first, is this guy. I literally was in shock when I saw this figure for the first time, especially his name. This is Golden Oni Lloyd. That has a lot of like meaning for the show, but that's a lot to talk about, so I'm not gonna get into that there. Just know that there's a lot to, like, you know, talk about there. Let's talk about the figure. Figure is excellent. This really gives me like a superhero suit sort of vibe, like, you know, as well as like a ninja suit. Like it looks like something that I would see maybe Thor wear or something like that. Gold, green. So the helmet is a two-piece. So it has like the back is like a samurai sort of helmet, and then you add the Oni mask to the front. You can also rotate it up to show you Lloyd's beautiful face. Sorry y'all, if y'all are hoping for a new face print. Nope, it's just Lloyd. But yeah, it's a great figure. Completely, you know, pearl gold with highlights of green. They found a way to give this the like Oni-esque appearance, but not as like, you know, weird as it was when it came out in 2019. I think the big green eyes help with that instead of like having maybe a pupil in there. Like it looks really nice. It has the horns that you add onto it. It's an excellent figure. This is the only exclusive figure that comes in this set. But it is worth it. It is a great figure. I can tell that a lot of Ninjago fans are want to get their hands on this guy. He's probably like one of the highlights of the wave when it comes to minifigure wise. We also get all 4 of the Golden Ninja in one set. This is one of their 3 suits that they appear in. These suits are pretty great. It's one of the most unique suits, at least when it comes to like the coloring. Their mask is gold with the highlight of their color as a headband, which works for some, not for others. And then their suits are their regular suits from this wave, and then you add some gold armor to it, both on like the shoulder pad and also like a print on the chest as well. Cole, in my opinion, looks the best, obviously. And then I think I like Zane a lot. Zane looks really good, and then Jay and Kai, they look okay, I would say. Let me look at Jay again. Jay looks pretty good. I like the strap and whatnot. And then Kai has a lot going on. He has like a chest plate. Not sure I'm a huge fan of that, but I think these are definitely really good suits. I prefer the other ones, the ones that don't have gold on them, because they're classicer. They're more classic. And then of course the dragon suits are beyond amazing. But these are definitely really, really great suits. And you get all 4 of them in one set, which is really great. And then we're going to move on to our villains. So our villain of the set is the 4-armed version of the Crystal King. The Crystal King rocks out with his gold and kind of, gunmetal and gray and purple look. He's got the same thing as Lloyd, like the 2-part mask where he has his like dragon mask, I guess. It looks like a dragon. Not a huge fan of it. It kind of looks like, and I'm giving this credit to AJ, who mentioned it to Tyler, who mentioned it to me, that he looks like a video character. Gonna have to agree. I think the only thing that like really stands out as like a really bad thing are his eyes. It looks like he's wearing sunglasses, at least to me. But yeah, he has a great at least suit build. It looks like he has a dragon on his chest, which is really great. But yeah, so the helmet is 2-piece. You can turn or you can lift the helmet up to see his face underneath. Now that is a great face print for whoever's underneath here. We do get the Overlord symbol on his chest. And also his face looks very similar to other Overlord faces. But yeah, the Crystal King is a great new character. We love the Crystal King. It's great. We love getting new villains in Ninjago. So it's great to see him popping up. And then we got 3 goons. They're called Vengestone Warriors. And then 2 of them are Vengestone Brutes. Vengestone Brutes have like, the double like little crystal stuff. You get those new crystal like the pink translucent pieces for the crystals, the crystal weapons or whatnot. Very cool. Makes a really cool weapon. But yeah, we get 3 of those guys. They have translucent arms, translucent legs, at least like the half and half. They look awesome. Like this is one of my favorite like enemy creations that they've done. The head is 1 piece, which is crazy compared to like the Oni masks and the dragon mask. They're 1 piece. You just pop it on and good to go. They have great faces. The mohawk is great. I just love their build so much. It looks absolutely fantastic. We also get a little side build, and with the side build comes with the new golden weapons. In this set, you get 2 of each, except for the nunchucks. The nunchucks you only get, 1 pair that combines for 1 nunchuck, and then that's it. Everything else you get an extra side of it, but you get a little tiny build for like a throne, which is really cool. They don't make a big deal about the throne. They just have all the weapons come together. You can take that, you can put it in the Crystal King Temple set if you want, but it's a cute little throne with the golden weapons. Not a huge fan of some of these golden weapons. Kai's sword is not good. Like it's really bad. It doesn't really look like a sword. It has like a big top axe kind of look to it. Doesn't feel right. Cole's is really cool. Has a really accurate dragon head for the blade, which is something that we haven't had before for sets. And then of course the shuriken and the nunchucks look pretty decent. The nunchucks are really weird because they attach the chain on the side instead of the bottom. Oh well. But yeah, so you got that cute little tiny side build. Looks great. You can put the Crystal King in there. You could put Lloyd in there. We don't know who's going to sit in that throne. With Lloyd as an Oni, anything can happen. So, my biggest complaint with this set is the price. This has, what did I say, 989 pieces, so less than 1,000 pieces, and yet it retails for $140. Now, there are a few things that I can, excuse, like the fact that this dragon is entirely pearl gold, at least, it looks entirely pearl gold, and, the pearl or the gold tax is a myth, but if it's a thing, obviously this dragon is going to be more expensive because it's covered in like this, chroma gold, very, very shiny gold, and it would raise the price because you get so many pieces. And then you get all of these unique molds. They're not new molds, but they have new printing on them. You have them in pearl gold, which is new. That, I think, would raise the price quite a bit because of how much you get. Like, it's 4 dragon heads. That's, like, already a lot. And then of course you get these giant golden blades. They're massive. Those have got to be pricey as well. So you also get 9 minifigures, which is a lot for a set. However, only one of them is exclusive. While Lloyd is awesome, like that's a great figure to have. That is 9 figures. 8 of them appear in other sets. That would raise the price again a little bit. So I could excuse this set at $120 is probably the highest I would go. 140 is really, really pushing it. And I am actually really upset about how expensive this set is, because Ninjago has always been good with, a fair price to part ratio. This one is not good at all. And it's like their big set of the wave, so that it's more expensive than it should be. And it's the set that I would recommend the most of the entire wave. So it's very hard for me to say get this set because it's so expensive. But yeah, I'm really upset. I'm hoping this is not a trend for Ninjago, that their prices are a little bit higher than usual. I know that's an issue with licensing themes like Star Wars and Marvel. If you want to get sets like those, they're going to be expensive because they have a licensing fee. So it's like, okay, fair. Ninjago is not a licensed product, so I can't really think of any reasons why they would be more inflated than usual, because there's no licensing fees. But here we are in this day and age. So I'm hoping this isn't a trend. Please don't let this be a trend, Lego. If you hear me, let it stop here, please. We want fans to purchase these sets and be encouraged to purchase them instead of being like, it's a great set, but the only thing that's keeping me from buying it is the price. That's very sad, and I don't want that to be something that continues in the future, because this is an amazing build, and I really think everyone should get it, but it's also really expensive. So, yeah, now I come for my recommendation of if you should buy the set or not. I know I just said everything about, it's hard for me to say it, and it is hard, but this is the set of the wave. If there is any set that you should get from this wave, this is the one. This is the one. This set not only screams Ninjago, but it is the best dragon in all time. In all time. It's so good. It has all of the elemental heads. That comes with all of the ninja. You get some of the best poses you can do for a dragon. It is the biggest dragon. This is the one. I couldn't recommend this dragon more. I'm speechless when it comes to I don't know what I can say to convince people to purchase this. The build is fantastic. I fell in love with it. The images that are released by Lego do not do it justice. It is one of the best products that I have seen them pull off, at least scale-wise, figure-wise, building-wise, posing-wise, sculpting-wise. Like this is it. This is the amalgamation. I think that's a word, but this is like the amalgamation of every dragon put together, and then you get this. I love it. I want you all to love it. So if you love dragons, if you love Ninjago, and if you love this, get it. Save up some money. Ask some parents, maybe for Christmas, for birthday, save up your VIP points from Lego, and this is what I want you all to witness this. It's an amazing build, and great figure choices. It's the best dragon. It's the best dragon. And that's for someone who loves dragons and has a collection of big dragons. Yeah, this is it. This is the dragon we've been waiting for. So that is my recommendation. You take it or leave it. So that is my review on Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon, which comes out again on August 1st in the North America, United States area, and it comes out on June 1st in Europe, you lucky ducks. So, you got that? Oh. Here's this tail. I'm going to put it back in there. That's Lloyd's Legendary Dragon tail. But yeah, so this is the dragon. If you have any questions about it, if you want any other feedback, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the dragon, because I might be very, very biased. But yeah, this is Lloyd's Legendary Dragon, $140. Come on, Lego. 989 pieces, set number again, 71777. Oh gosh, I didn't pull the number. 71774. There you go. 71774. Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon. This is Ninjago's best dragon! Exclamation point. I'll catch you next time for another TTV reviews of Ninjago Summer 2022.